This is the Green Witch channel.
Hello everyone. Alright, so I'm giving this a whirl. All we did last night, I managed to convince my partner to let me film him whilst he was cooking. I helped him a little bit. I'm going to show you in this episode how we made this delicious vegan stir fry. It's got tofu, which we've covered in some cornflour and cornstarch, and then we've fried that with some green veggies, and then we've stirred through some delicious rice noodles, because most of our dishes will be gluten-free as well as vegan, because I'm gluten-free, but every now and again there'll be something with gluten. I might even throw a Swedish baked goods in there just for good measure. Alright then, so let's get started. We'll start it with having a look at the ingredients. So we had tofu, and we had garlic and chilies. The chilies are dried. You can use any strength of chilies. Our chilies are really hot. We love hot food, and I'm going to show you later how we milled them. We milled them. We made them really small, tiny pieces. And then we chopped up some veggies. So we're going to show you later where we used some broccolini, which is like the small, like a baby type broccoli. It's really delicious. We had some bok choy, some snow peas, sugar snaps, I think they're called in other parts of the world. And I think there's some spring onion in there as well. And it all turns out really delicious. Alright, so I'm going to be voice-overing this. It's going to be very interesting. Let's see how that goes. Let's cook, people. Alright, so I started with chopping the tofu, which is what I'm doing here, just in thin strips. I use a firm tofu. It's very important to have a firm tofu in this recipe. And then I chuck some cornstarch on there. I think it says cornflour on my box later. I'm just measuring it up, and then just as much as I need. I'll show the bowl in a minute. Here we go. Just so it covers them lightly. And I think I put a little bit more in. There we go. And then eventually I'm happy with the fact that they're all covered. They can sit for a while and kind of just, the cornstarch really nicely sticks to them. So we've got your tofu and your garlic, and you've got your sugar snaps or snow peas there. And I'm going to show that again for some reason. And here's all the veggies that I've already gone through, and the milled chili. So you can use any strength chili. You can have a mild chili. And our Thai rice noodles. They're gluten-free. And then these are the three sauces we use: the rice wine vinegar, the ketchup mayonnaise, and coconut oil. And my partner also admitted to putting soy sauce in at a point where I didn't actually see what he was doing, to add some saltiness. Here we go. Here's the hot pan with some coconut oil in it. Here's the water boiling for the noodles. And he starts with chucking in the dried chilies. And then he carefully places the tofu in. I ask him if he's placing all of them in like that, and he says it's just so they don't splash the hot oil on you. So he ends up just putting the rest in all at once. And then he just, fries them a little bit until they go golden. So I've cut quite a lot of that process out, but it takes a few minutes. Just keep on frying. So that kind of obviously coats them in the lovely chili, and gets quite hot in there. Crisps up the tofu nicely. Then he puts the garlic in. Quite a lot of garlic. I think there's 5 or 6 cloves. And he's very careful with the garlic because it burns quite easily. So it's got just a tendency to do that. Not quite sure why, but so he talks about how he puts the rice wine vinegar in quite quickly after, but he lets the garlic cook for a couple of minutes, or maybe a minute. Just with the tofu, just to release all the fragrances. He stirs it around for a little bit. Oh, there's the water boiling for the noodles. I'm putting them back in. And now he's adding the rice wine vinegar. He uses about half a cup, which might seem like a lot, but it actually boils off quite quickly and just leaves its delicious flavor behind, giving it a really nice tangy flavor. And it also cools down the garlic, as I just said. So he stirs that around, and then he puts in the ketchup manis. It's an Indonesian sauce. I'm going to write down the name, obviously, in the recipe. It's got quite a lot of sugar in it, so it's like a soy sauce with sugar in it. Good for vegans, but watch out with the sugar content. So he puts in maybe a quarter of a cup of that one, and then it becomes a little bit too sweet, so that's when he adds the more soy sauce, just pure soy sauce. So he did that when my back was turned, so I didn't see that bit. And here he adds the vegetables. So he explains to me that he doesn't want to cook the vegetables for too long, because he likes them crunchy, and if you cook them for too long they start releasing their water and the stir fry goes all watery. So if that's ever happened to you, it's because you've cooked your vegetables for too long and not on high enough heat. So the pan's currently quite hot here, and yeah, he'll just stir that around to coat the vegetables in the by now quite sticky sauce, and obviously heat them up but not cook them too much. There you go, perfect noodles on the side there. Multitasking, I'm filming and stirring and probably talking at the same time. There we go, the stir fry is finished. Oh sorry, it's ready. It's not finished, excuse the foreigner. And then he's rinsing the noodles. That's to cool them down so the cooking process stops, so they don't go overcooked, gooey. So Thai noodles especially can do that. So as he says here, it's the Chinese noodles are a bit firmer. There's enough heat in the stir fry for the noodles to be added cool. So he adds them here. There's a little bit for my lunch the day after, so he adds just enough to make us a dinner with the stir fry, and then he stirs them through. So there's no heat under the pan here. He's just adding them and stirring them through. And then when they're all covered with the yummy, gooey, delicious chili garlickiness, he puts it in the bowl. And then we squeeze a bit of lime on top.
There you go.
And it's delicious, people.
Delicious.
You have to try this. It's very good. And as I said, you don't have to worry about the chili. So that was a lot of chilies we put in there. We love hot food. But you can find chilies that suit your flavor and your taste. So you can find chilies that pretty much just taste like paprika. But they're dry, and you kind of want that because, as you could see, he added the chilies in the start there and stir-fried the chili, the dried chili with the tofu, and it creates kind of like a smoky flavor with the dried chili. So it's an important step of this particular dish to create that smoky flavor. With vegan food, you have to have little tips and tricks like that to create a full bouquet of flavors for your palate. Yeah, and that's something that my partner is very good at. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put the recipe in now. All right, see you later.
So you promise me I'm not going to be famous?
I can't promise you anything. Maybe your hands will be really famous and you'll get work as a hand model.